Hi, welcome to Kitchen Table Gist, where the gist is always hot and the stories are always real. I'm your host, Abba, and today we have a fantastic guest with us. She has over 20 years experience and is a specialist in helping women heal from trauma and reclaim their power. She uses a variety of evidence-based and intuitive methods and is a master trainer of EFT and the founder of Tapaway. Welcome, Adele.
Thank you.
Hi, Adele. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Good. So, I know I've briefly introduced you because even though I've said a lot, that is just a tiny little bit of introduction compared to all the amazing things that you've done. So please, Adele, tell our audience who you are, what you do.
Sure. So my name's Adele, as Abba said. Originally from Salford, and for the past 22 years I've been helping women and men to really empower themselves by relieving themselves of the traumas, the conditioning, the limiting beliefs that they've picked up throughout their lives. I work a lot with different modalities, EFT being one of them. I'm a master trainer of that and of clinical hypnosis. I do energy healing, sound healing, lots of different tools to help me to help others to improve their lives.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing, Adele. So yes, you've touched on you're a Mancunian girl, you grew up in Salford. Let's dig a little bit more into your growing up. What was that like for you?
I wouldn't say it was very pleasant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant upbringing. I always remember, like, when we were younger, it was always children should be seen and not heard, you know. We'd go into my nana's and we'd all be sat on our hands, like, sitting still, not moving. And
say, yes, please.
yes, please, thank you. Yeah, just sitting really still, like, not to get a crack, you know. So, yeah, it was... not the best of upbringings. My mum moved away to Ireland when I was very young. She went a bit off. She lost one of her sons. She found him dead. It was cot death. So when he was about 3 months old. So after that, I think things really changed. And she moved off to Ireland anyway and left us with my dad. My dad had a wife who I didn't really get on with, and I wasn't one to put up with things like, I always remember her saying, "Don't slouch on the couch, I've just cleaned it." I'm like, well, that don't make sense. Like, what? You know, so it was just constant things like that. Anyway, I ended up getting kicked out when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I wasn't one to keep quiet, not like my sisters. So, yeah, but all throughout, up until that point, there was no real support. I was always an A1 student, always, throughout everything. And but I never got any recognition for that, ever, at all. I always remember one time, it just sprung to mind, one of my classmates, she got an A on one of her essays. And I was like, oh my God, I bet you're going to go and tell your parents now. And I was genuinely thinking... And she thought I was taking the mickey, like, you're going to go and tell your parents, you know. And I was genuinely like, please. But yeah, I never got any support like that. It wasn't really recognised. So I left home at 16. And then, I was homeless for a while, looking for a place to stay. And ended up staying at my nana's. My nana's is a rock, you know, she's beautiful. So, that was my upbringing.
Oh, wow. Wow, I can't get past the don't slouch on the
couch.
I've just cleaned it. I've been trying to make it make sense in my head. Like, how do you slouch and unclean a couch?
Exactly. It was just madness like that. She didn't want kids around. Full stop. You know.
Right.
She didn't want kids. And she's
But how do you marry a man that's got kids if you didn't want kids around? I'm confused. But anyway.
You just make it so unbearable that they didn't want to be around. I used to be like, every night I'd be out, but if I didn't go out, I'd just go out anyway and sit at the bus stop.
Not to be home.
And then I'd come home at 10 o'clock because if I wasn't out, it's like, why are you not out? Why are you not going out? So I'd literally go out and I'd sit at the bus stop and then go home. It was just awful. I remember once asking for a lift because the snow was outside. And it was like 7 o'clock, I had to be at school because I was playing the trumpet and I was doing a solo in assembly. And I went back up because the bus didn't come. And I said, can I get a lift? Because to school, 7 o'clock, the bus hadn't come. I will lend you the money for a taxi.
What?
Both sat there with cars, yeah. So they lent me the money for a taxi, which they asked for the next day. I was working as well that day. I started work at 12. I lied and said I was 13 in a video shop. So yeah, it wasn't a very welcoming, not a very warm upbringing. But again, I don't see that as a bad thing because that's made me who I am. I'm totally independent. I never ask anybody for anything, and I know no matter what, I will always be okay.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, I one of the things I always say to people is your experiences and things you go through in life, they're character building for you. You know, they just shape you, and you never get more than you can handle. It comes to you because what you need is already in you, you know, to get through that. You just need to reach it down and pull it out. So yeah, I get exactly what you mean. I'm a very independent person as well. Even though I did come from a very loving family, my mom, even till today, is my best friend. You know, we talk all the time and all. But the thing is, I went to boarding school. Yeah, so that tells you all of it, doesn't it? I went to boarding school and I just had to fend for myself. You grew up yourself, you know. You learn things, even as a woman, you learn things about your body yourself that your mom would talk you through and be like, you'll be prepared for this. I had to learn everything from school. So, and till it shaped me to who I am today. I do everything by myself. I rarely ask for help, which I know is exhausting and is not really a good thing. But the problem is I've grown a certain level of attention to detail. You know, like excellence in what I do, that if it's not done exactly that way, I see it and then it's a problem for me, and I feel I have to do it all over again. So rather than you do it and then I do it, I'm just going to do it and save us both the time.
I have that. I have jobs and it's like I could delegate these jobs, but I'm like, you won't do it as well as I can do it, right? So I've got to do it
myself. So I mean, it's hard sometimes and it is exhausting, but it is what it is. So I was just trying to, you know, relate to what you were saying and your tough upbringing, and it's shaped you to who you are. So yes, let's carry on now. So you moved out at 16, you moved in with your nan?
Yes.
Yeah? So what then happened? So what did you do with education?
Yeah, I was doing my A-levels at the time. I was doing French, German art and Spanish. And I wanted to be an interpreter. That's why I was doing other languages. But then I got pregnant. To do a degree foreign, like you have to do a year abroad, so that was out the window. But yeah, I met a guy who at first was very charming, but then turned out to be a bit of a monster.
Oh no.
Yeah, a bit of a monster. So he was a bit of a bad boy, you know, in gangs in Manchester and such like that, and we'd frequently see guns around and drugs, and you know, it was, which at that age was exciting, you know. Right now I think run a mile, right? Get away from here. You live and learn, ever, don't you?
I know.
So I did get pregnant. It wasn't intentional, and but then it started like, if you get rid of it, I'll do this and I'll do that. And I thought, oh, he must really love me. Yeah, you know. So anyway, roll on, and yeah, he was very, very violent all throughout my pregnancy, very abusive, and meanwhile, because I'd been kicked out, I didn't have that family support. I didn't have my mum. She was
away
in Ireland, and my sisters, I've never really got on with them. We're like chalk and cheese, all of them. I'm the odd one, you know, I'm like the black sheep. I'm totally different to all of those. So yeah, I had no support at that time. And one day, my son he was just toddling around, and he'd smashed up the whole place, and he'd beaten me, and I remember my son running round, and there was glass on the floor, you know, God. And he was like, I'm going to come for him in the morning, and I'm going to take him to America, and you'll never see him again, because his parents lived in America. Wow. So I was forced to do something then, you know. So I did phone my dad. I never phoned anybody for help, only twice, and both times, the other time was a bad time. But my dad came and went to his, but then this guy came there in the middle of the night with a car full of guys and hit him over the head with a baseball bat.
Oh
so
my God.
yeah, he went to hospital. He's never worked since. He lives in Ireland, and then I was just out on my own, you know, back in my place. I didn't have a phone at the time. No phones were around, you know, and I always remember the only support I had. I always remember her name, Sarah Draper from Berry and Berry in Eccles. I always remember her name. Yeah, she was like really supportive. But it was just hell. It was hell because I had like all these gangsters banging on the door, and I'm there with my son. You know, and it affected him psychologically, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So eventually, I think after a while, he got caught. I believe he did 11 years in prison.
Oh,
apparently.
wow.
Yeah, I hear. So yeah, it was a very, very difficult time. Very alone. Yeah, really. And when I think about it now, actually, not one of my family, I've got a big family, not one of them contacted me during that time.
Are you serious?
Not one. I have a massive family, cousins, aunties. Not a single one of them contacted me. No.
Are you in touch with your family now still?
Yeah, but I am the different one.
Still
the different one. And I don't, the more I've progressed and the more I've worked on myself, the less I've got on with them. I used to get on with them, like, okay, not my sisters so much, and that sibling fight, you know, we were always like that, but my aunties and stuff like that. But the more I progress, and I just think people don't like it when you shine.
When you grow. And
I'm like, I'll take these sunglasses off, I'll give them to you, and I'm gonna shine like a bloody diamond, right?
Yes.
Shine even brighter. Because
Yeah.
like, I'm not, and I used to dim myself in the past. But now, no, hell no, I don't.
As you should. I mean, you're nice, you're giving them sunglasses. Your eyes can burn out for all I care. I'm shining on. You're nice. I mean, does the sun give anybody sunglasses?
Nope.
Absolutely not. So,
She knows.
you're nice, honestly. But yeah, you shouldn't in your life. I've come to learn that the more you grow, especially with people that have known you in your worst or in your growing journey, and the more you've improved on yourself, the more you change and you advance and you get better, and that margin grows, the more they find more reasons to hate you or dislike you and find and say things against you. And it's just because you've grown, but they haven't.
100%.
You know,
100%.
So it's part of growth. I think it's something that people need to get to understand, because I used to be at a place in my life where I thought, oh, why do I get so much hate? And, you know, why do I experience loss with friendships? And it's because I'm a dreamer, and I never see myself in a place where I feel this is it.
Yeah.
I always think, what's next?
I'm the same. Yeah.
What's next? This cannot be it. You know, and I've always been that way. But sometimes even when you're having conversations with friends and you're just chatting and you say things like, you know, just saying, oh, if I won the lottery, like I've known friends that would say, if I won 100,000, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking, what's 100,000? You know what I mean? I don't even imagine. That's not in my imagination sphere.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of, I won the lottery, like if I won 500 million, you see what that's how, and people
Aim that fire.
and they look at you like, oh, but that's how I think.
Well, you know, it's funny you should say that. I was like, at my nana's, and one of my aunties was there, and my nana, she's got dementia, and she said like, so what's the average wage now? She's Irish, I can't really do it right. What's the average wage? And I said, oh, I think it's about £17 on an hour. And this woman, she went, no, it's not, Bridie. She spoke to her, through her to me. No, it's not, Bridie. It's £11 something.
Okay.
And I said, really? I said, well, what's the minimum wage then? So straight away, day, the average wage for them is the minimum wage,
Exactly.
right? And it shows the mindset.
It
it's
does.
like, and she's like, oh.
It does. When you speak, and so it's just they don't. And sometimes it's okay because that's where they are.
Yeah,
but the thing is, they just don't want to see you move to where you're trying to get to.
Absolutely.
So, but
how dare you try?
Exactly. How dare you aim that high?
Yeah.
How dare you think you're able to reach those heights?
Who do you think
you are?
Yeah. So no, I'm happy being the black sheep, and what I realise is there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just in the wrong field. I was placed in the wrong field.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had that realization one day, oh my God, I was banging my drum. I was doing I made a bit of shamanic drum, and I was journeying with this drum, and I was thinking about this, and then it just suddenly dawned on me, I'm in the wrong field. And I was bursting out tears, and I was like, it's that realization, right? There's nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with them. I'm just in the wrong field.
Absolutely. And it's funny you saying that. It's made me remember when I was in my previous relationship, and for many years I thought there was something wrong with me, was why I was being treated so badly. I always genuinely thought I was broken and nobody could love me right, and I had to do stuff to fix myself for that person to treat me right. Until one day I had this revelation and I realized there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong.
No.
It was like a moment for me, and just like you said, I cried. I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm okay. I can do anything. I'm fine. I don't need to be in here anymore. And that was that was the birth of my journey to leaving that toxic relationship.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's
And
crazy.
do you know what though? It took that toxic relationship as a mirror to show you your self-worth.
You're right.
You know? So these relationships, they are mirrors that are just showing us like what we need to heal inside, right? So although it was toxic, you were blessed to have it in some respect.
Absolutely. And I always say to people, and I know, I'm supposed to be hearing all about you, and I'm talking more about myself now anyway. But I always say to people, if that marriage would have worked, it would have, with everything I put into it. I did absolutely everything. Leaving it wasn't an option for me. I didn't see it as an option until it became the only option.
Yeah.
So, and in that period, in that 10 years, because I was there for 10 years, in that 10 years of finding myself and trying to make it work, I developed so much tools and life hacks that's made me who I am today.
Yeah.
If I didn't experience that hardship in that relationship and constantly trying to fix myself, I wouldn't come to this full awareness of who I am now and understanding of, the sky is not even the limit, There's things after the sky. People have been to space. You see what I mean? So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Right, so let's go straight back to you. Right, so you've come out of this toxic relationship. What did you do next?
So I actually went back to university, and I started a psychology degree. I just thought to myself, what am I interested in? I'm interested in the mind. And it's funny I did that then, because it's before I was doing anything that I'm doing now. I didn't actually finish that because I was at uni all week, and my son was at the uni kind of nursery. And then all weekend I was working as well. So it was just too much. And after a year and a half, I thought, stop this. I'm going to get a job with a company car. I wanted a car.
So not the job. It was the car that came with the job.
Yeah, because I already had a car, but it was a crappy car. And I thought, right, if I'm going to get a job, I might as well get a job where I can get a nice car. So I got a sales rep job as selling blinds.
Okay.
And then I thought, that's not good enough. I saw another job selling IT, and I thought, I'm going to go for that. Because I've always got this thirst for knowledge. I wanted to know how computers work, so I did a CompTIA Network Plus course and everything, and I understood how it worked. And I did really well in that job. There wasn't many people, young sort of women in IT sales back then. So you imagine all these like IT departments with all these men on the computers, like, and I'd be like, come on, let me come and see you. How often do you get a young blonde chick wanting to come and see you? I'll bring cakes, and you know, so I'd get a lot of business, right?
Oh yeah, of course you would. Pretty blonde.
Muffin lady from the north, I was known as in Bristol NHS.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so I did that for a while, and it was good. But one day I just thought to myself, you know, after a while, it was not soul fulfilling, and I just thought to myself, so what? I've sold a server, I haven't helped anybody, and bang, this email comes on my screen about a hypnotherapy course in London, and I ended up doing that, and yes, gradually weaned myself off the job. I went down to this hypnotherapy weekend. I'd actually got married by then as well. I met a guy.
Okay.
And I went with him just for the weekend, and then I carried on with it. So.
Okay, bro. So you just touched him. You were married.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how you met the guy. How did you know he was the one?
Okay, so he, I believe he saw me in my job. I was working in a bar over the weekends, and he saw me in this place. And then one day, I think my car had broken down, and I was walking down the street in Eccles.
Yeah.
And it was raining, and I was just really just walking, loving the rain, you know. And he pulled over and he said, "Oh, I recognise you from Bolton. Like, why are you walking down the rain?" And anyway, we just swapped numbers, and then so I met him on the street. Yeah, but I thought he was kind of like he had it all together, you know, from the turbulent kind of emotionless family that I came from. I thought he seemed quite normal, but yeah, a little bit of wolf in sheep's clothing going on there. Yeah, no, he turned out that he was an addicted gambler.
Oh wow.
So, you know, I was kind of the main earner there. He was working for a while, but then he didn't work for a while because he said he had depression, and meanwhile he was just gambling.
So wait a minute. You said he had depression. So did he have depression or he said he had depression?
He was probably depressed because he lost his gambling that day or something. I don't know, but yeah, who knows?
Oh my god.
So yeah, he kind of stayed at home and he wasn't doing anything, and so after all, it kind of transpired. He'd come to me every now and again. So we need to remortgage the house because of this, and and it was always very manipulative. And I would be just like, yeah, whatever, another 50 grand, another 50 grand. You know, the house was nearly paid off. I had a house and a rental property, both nearly paid off. And then yeah, it turned out like so many debts. He the thing that kind of pushed me over the edge, the cherry on the top, where I literally kicked him out, I found out he was also cheating.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he was also cheating. He was a bit of a rotter. So I kicked him out. I lost my home, my rental property, because when I kicked him out, he didn't contribute to anything. The mortgage was right up there, so it was just impossible
to balance it all.
Yeah, but he said, "Oh, I gave her the house." That's what he said. I gave her the house. He gave me a mortgage that anyway. So it transpired though, when I did kick him out, I ended up with £60,000 of credit card debt. I'd never spent a penny on. He maxed out all after we'd split, our joint bank accounts. Oh, wow. You know, the overdrafts. He even stole my nectar points. Honestly, I was gutted about that because I had quite a few nectar points. He stole my nectar points.
Oh my god.
Oh, I had thousands stolen out of my bank account.
Wow.
Somebody was cashing checks, a few thousand. It took me over a year to get them back, out of my business bank account. He swore it wasn't him, but you know. And then a year after we split, something said to me, I need to check on my son's savings. I was saving for my son. And I just thought, I need to check on them. And on the Tuesday I phoned up and I said, I'm just checking on my son's savings, what's the balance and that? And they said, oh, Mrs. Rollinson, your husband phoned yesterday to cash it in.
Oh my god.
I was like, what? Yeah, so I had to send a fax proving that he wasn't the father and to stop the transaction and everything. So yeah, he was a bit of a rotter.
Oh no.
But he was a con man as well. I used to think, maybe, you know, he's ill, he's got an addiction or whatever. But I had a client who knew him, and he told me that he was actually the best friend of his. He started working, the best friend of his boss, who was also a friend of his, and he'd been cashing checks. And he stole about £130,000 and then moved back to London. I said, do you want his mum's address in London?
Did you give it?
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Of course.
Of course. Oh my God.
But yeah, he was a rotter. But he was cheating, and he was just a rotter.
I bet you must have been devastated.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Because everything that I'd worked for was gone. But not only that, the one man that I trusted, that I thought,
he was good.
He's good man, and I used to say, oh, he's so good, and like, I think people knew around me, but I didn't see it. I really didn't see it. But I wasn't supposed to see it, because I was supposed to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
I needed to learn that lesson. And after that, after losing everything, it was like, that set me on a quest for like learning. And I had this insatiable, what is it? Why are we here? You know, what? It's not about accumulating all these things, because these things can go in a second, right? It's not about that. What is it? So yeah, I started to get a thirst for knowledge then.
Oh, good. So you got rid of the bad ex, putting that lightly. You decided, right, I need to do more with my life. Tell us how you then pivoted into where you are now.
Well, I did a lot of work on myself along the way.
Okay.
I actually ended up going to the Amazon jungle. I
Ooh,
went on my own. Met people out there. So I ended up spending a few weeks with the Shipipo people out there doing ayahuasca quite a lot. I don't know if you know.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
So it's a plant medicine. So it's just basically an ayahuasca vine, chacruna leaves mixed together. But when it's mixed together, it creates hallucinogenic. It opens up your mind to a different reality.
No. I don't know what I've just, now you've told me what it is.
Yeah.
But I saw this episode on a show that I follow, and they actually went to Mexico.
Yeah.
And they went into this huts, and they gave them this tea, and then there was a lot of smoke.
Okay.
And these women were actually having experiences like, and I said to myself, I want to do that. I want to try that. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, so is that similar to what you're saying?
Yeah, it lasts about 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. The very first time I did it, very, very first time. At the time, my friend booked on it. I did it. The Amazon wasn't the first place I did it.
Okay.
My friend booked on it, and I didn't know what it was, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll come. Yeah.
Let's just go.
Yeah. And then she pulled out, and I was like, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, am I supposed to go? And then I kept saying to myself, if this happens, I'll go. If this happens, I'll go. And then I bought a scratch pad, and I said, right, if I win anything on this scratch pad, I'll go. And I won 50 quid, right?
What are the odds of that? So
I've never won any more than a quid on the scratch pad, right? So I went, and at the time, I had a boyfriend that I was living with, and we were living in his house that he used to have with his ex-wife. They split up a long time, and he had this house up for sale for years. And I took this ayahuasca, and I saw this vision of this leaf and this beautiful woman's face, and I was talking to this leaf, and I was like, help us to sell the house, blah blah blah, help the house go, blah. And then the next day I was telling people, and they said, oh, that's the Lady of the Vine, everybody sees that. I was like, whoa. Lady of the Vine. Anyway, that weekend we had people around at the house, and he actually had an offer on the house.
You're joking.
Do you know what they were called? The people who bought it. Mr. and Mrs. Vine. I kid you not.
No.
I kid you not. On my son's life, Mr. and Mrs. Vine. So I was like, whoa, but loads of things happened that weekend.
When can we go?
It is.
Take me with you.
It teaches you so much. The only
God.
issue I had at that time, in terms of like, I knew was irrational. If I hadn't seen my son for a while, I'd be like, where is he? He's dead, he's dead. And I think he was dead. And I know he wasn't dead, but this overwhelming, oh my God, he's dead, right?
Oh, God.
And so on the second night of the retreat, I had this vision. This ayahuasca took me back to when I had to rehome my dog, and I was devastated. It was only a few years prior, and I was like, why did I expect? And I spent all night saying goodbye to my dog, and I was crying. I was so gutted. It was just heart-wrenching. And then it took me back from that to when I was younger, when my mum and dad first split up. I had a dog, and I remember getting back from school, and I said, where's Sandy? And my mum just said, oh, I gave her away to the postman. And I was like, I never got to say goodbye. And I was like in tears. I was only young. My mum and dad just split up. And then I thought, why did I experience that? And then it took me back to a past life. And I was saying goodbye to my husband at the time, who was a fair-haired warrior. And I instantly knew that that guy was my boyfriend's son in this life.
Oh, wow.
I just knew it. I just knew. And he went and he died, and I never got to say goodbye, and I had all these tears, and I realised it was that I never got to say goodbye, and that fear of not seeing my son.
Mm.
Anyway, now I don't see it. It's like fine. That fear went. And I was telling I came back and I told my boyfriend, and I said it was this fair-haired warrior, and that was Finley, and he said, that's what Finley means, fair-haired warrior. I was like,
no,
oh my God.
Stop.
Honestly. It's so profound. It's like,
oh my God.
But it taught me a lot throughout the years. I went and did it in, the Amazon and in Spain.
So was the experience the same for you when you did in the Amazon compared to when you did? Where did you do it the first time? Where was that?
It was in a secret location.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's not legal. It's actually classed as a Class A drug.
Are you for real?
No, because it is so
So
transformative.
is it in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, okay.
So there are places you can do it. You can do it all over the world.
Right,
but in the UK, it is classed as a Class A drug because it is so transformative.
It gives you an out of body experience in a nutshell.
They say it's like 10 years of therapy in one night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk off camera more on that. Right, guys, viewers, that's not for you. We're not promoting that here. Just to put a disclaimer out there.
Do it in the Amazon.
Yes, go to the Amazon or Mexico, wherever.
Mexico.
Right, okay. Thanks for sharing that, Adele. That was beautiful. So, let's just bring it back. So, I'm even lost now.
I was on my journey, finding myself.
Yeah, finding yourself.
Yeah. And I started picking up a lot of different therapies.
Yes.
Meanwhile, all the way through this, I still have my private practice, Mind Masters, so I'm seeing clients on a one-to-one. I started getting asked a lot more I was seeing people who had businesses, and they'd say, could you come in and help my staff, with what you do? So I started working a lot B2B, business to business. And I got really busy doing that. So I set up a separate company, Health Perks.
Okay.
And so we do workplace wellness, we do mental health training, resilience training, sound baths in the boardroom. Like we do everything. It's bringing the woo to the boardroom. That's what I'm good at. And then because I was doing so much more of that, I thought, who's going to look after all these clients that were getting such amazing results?
Yeah.
So I wanted to replicate what I was doing, so I set up the academy to train people in the skills that I have.
Yeah.
So now I started to do one-to-one referrals from the businesses that I see. They'll say, can you see this employee? They're struggling. So they'll offer the usual EAP route, the employee assistance route, where they'll get counselling, CBT, or they'll say, or you can go to Adele. It gets a little different. And so they'll come through to me, and they might be talking about a problem that they have with another individual in work, and I'll be like, who do they remind you of? My mum. Okay, that's where we deal. So we dig deeper. So yeah, it's working well.
Oh, that's brilliant. So if people want to find you, because you've mentioned quite a few things now, you do training, you offer one-to-one sessions. So talk to us a bit more about that. How can people find you? What services do you offer?
So for individuals, I offer
For individuals, I offer services such as therapy, one-to-one therapy, if people are struggling with trauma. And things like trauma, it's a misnomer that it has to take years to get over it. You know, just one session, because of the tools that we use, they're so profound. So yeah, one-to-one sessions. I also train people. I offer certified courses in EFT. I'm not doing the hypnotherapy courses anymore. My focus is purely on the EFT, the tapping. And also for businesses as well, training in mental health first aid, one-to-one referrals for employees who are struggling. So if anybody's interested, the web address is mindmasters.co.uk or tapaway.co.uk. That's my new venture. And the B2B stuff is healthperks.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Adele. That's really, really good. It's been really fun having you on the show today. Oh God, I've learned a lot, and we still need to talk about the other bit. All right, guys. So that's everything we've got for you today. Adele has been amazing. I hope you've picked up one or two things. I sure have picked up quite a lot from her today. And she has given you a contact information, which we will be displaying on the screen for you. So please reach out to Adele if you've got a course you have in mind, or a conversation, or, you know, just want to know more about what she offers. Please reach out to her, and I'm sure she'll be more than happy to help you in any way possible. Right, guys. So we've come to the end of today's episode. And until next time, thank you, everyone. Toodles.